Yeah. Yeah. 2, 3.
Back at the sensei. Being a sensei doesn't mean showing up for your class and going home. It means staying an extra 2 minutes to help a fellow student, giving an extra day out of your
Learn some things that you the senpai or one of my fellow students, what we truly meaning of being a man. The true warrior is honor, integrity, respect, loyalty.
Ushian, Usensei, Usashi, Usubai, Zeus. Wow. I can't believe it's been over 14 years since I last stood up here, giving a speech as a candidate for a black belt test. I earned my 3rd degree black belt at the age of 15 on July 22nd, 2006. Not that anyone was counting, but that was exactly 14 years and 1 month ago, or 5,145 days. For those that don't know, I had actually lived in Albany for 7 years after high school. I was there for undergrad, grad school, and then my first 2 jobs of my career. It had been a long time since I was last standing up here. And after a certain time, I started to think this day would never come, and that I would just continue to hold the record for the longest time as a third-degree black belt in martial arts history. There were always excuses I made for myself as reasons why I did not test for my fourth degree yet, whether I was too young, away at school, living in Albany, too far, too busy, etc. The reality is, there are a million reasons not to do something, but you only need one reason to do it. And after all the excuses and time, the truth is, I just wasn't ready, until now. I have been training in martial arts and with Shihan Makar since 1995. The formation of my personal identity and my future characteristics began at the age of 4 when my parents enrolled me in martial arts, following in the footsteps of my brother, Sensei Figueroa. My father, a master of Jeet Kune Do and knife fighting self-defense, has always been a strong advocate of martial arts and the ability to defend oneself properly. Shihan would always tell stories of me as a baby when my brother was on the mat, and I would kick the viewing glass from my stroller, waiting for the day that I could finally join my brother on the mat, embarrassing both my mother and my brother in the process. Shihan would have had me training on the mat in the stroller as a 1-year-old if he could. In my family, martial arts is not a game or a sport, but a way of life. My father has been training since he was 18 in the style of Jeet Kune Do, a style made popular by the father of mixed martial arts, Bruce Lee. My mother also participated in cardio kickboxing classes that were run by Sensei Wardell. Martial arts has taught me to be focused, disciplined, determined, courageous, humble, confident, honest, and respectful. Martial arts shaped me and continues to shape me into the man I am today. I consider myself, as do others, to be a leader, an open-minded yet independent person with a lot of self-control. Most people see me as calm and disciplined individual, most of which is due to my years of training. One of the points of candidates giving speeches at a black belt test is allowing them to assess how martial arts and Bushido have changed your life. Problem is, I've been training for practically my whole life, so it's hard to imagine how martial arts hasn't had an effect on my life in one way or another. In order to address this, I determined the weaknesses I possessed and how martial arts helped me overcome those weaknesses. When I was younger, I always believed failure was not an option, and I had followed the misconception that failure showed weakness or inadequacy. It was not until I was much older that I realized failure is a part of life. If you always succeed, how will you ever learn how to improve? Even in martial arts, I had only ever failed one test. It was a promotion test for my red belt, and I will never forget it. Meanwhile, my brother, a sensei, had failed plenty of tests. But look where he is today, one of the best instructors I have ever seen. To put it simply, in a quote from a film some of you may have seen, let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean, nasty place. I don't care how tough you are, it'll beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. It ain't about how hard you hit, it's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done. Now, if you know what you're worth, then go out and get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hits and not pointing fingers saying you ain't where you want to be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that, and that ain't us. That is not the Bushido way. In order to succeed, you must learn to overcome challenges along the way, because if you don't face challenges or failures, then you will not learn how to better yourself. You better yourself by learning that failures are just lessons learned, and it is okay to fail more than once, as long as you improve from those learning opportunities. It is not okay, however, to make the same mistakes over and over again. Failures are just obstacles that teach you how to adapt, so you'll be ready for the next challenge life throws at you. Every experience in life, good or bad, will have an effect on who you are, and how you choose to handle those experiences will play a role in determining what kind of person you will become. The combination of life lessons from martial arts and strong family influence have established me as a person who is always willing to help others, both strangers and friends, preserving a constant strive for success and becoming the best version of myself. These attributes are a direct correlation from my desire to work in the law enforcement and security field. I want to protect others from harm's way and rectify the injustices of society. This eventually led me on my current career path, something I don't talk about very often, which is working in intelligence with the goal of protecting our country and all her people. My background and years of experience in martial arts have always been, and will continue to be, the essence of my identity. Now for the thank yous. A couple of months ago, my brother and I were talking and catching up on our lives, and he asked me what made me want to come back into training and teaching at the school on a consistent basis. My answer was simple: the students. Being able to teach the students of Bushido, watching them learn from our guidance and their mistakes, while growing as individuals, has brought us more meaning into my life. It is not a feeling that can really be explained, but to see our students succeed with the lessons we have taught is truly one of the greatest experiences. So, my first thank you to the students of Bushido Karate. Thank you. Looking back at my brother's question, there was a second answer to what keeps me coming back. And it's the school itself. This is my sanctuary right here. This is home. This is always right. To some people, this is just another activity, a game, or a sport, but it is part of my life, and I love it. Just because the physical location of Bushido Karate may be closed, for now, does not mean the lessons and teaching of Bushido will not go on. And like I have said before, the Bushido School of Karate is not a place, it's a people, and its people are still here. Now don't get me wrong, if you think Sensei Figueroa and I were always as inspired to train and come to class 2 or 3 times a week, you are sorely mistaken. We were all children once and always wanted to do other things. When Sensei and I were kids, we would complain to our parents that we didn't want to go to class today, and they always got us with the same trick. If we said we didn't want to go, they said, okay, get dressed, and you can go tell Shihan yourself that you want to quit. And every time we would get to the school, our parents would say, okay, we'll wait in the car while you go ahead and tell Shihan. In which we would then go, well, we're already dressed, we're here, we might as well take class today. And with that, my second thank you, which is honestly the most important to the foundation and success of this school, is to the parents of Bushido Karate. The parents who push their kids to come to class instead of letting them quit and not finish what they started. The parents who truly realize the value of their child's training and continue to encourage them. I know how hard it can be sometimes, especially now during a pandemic, so thank you for all that you do. To my fellow candidates, Alex, Elena, Josh, Jair, and Adrian. To the students I have trained and trained with, Kevin and Sky, and to the senpais of Bushido, Senpai Lopez, Senpai Burrell, Senpai Wallace, Senpai Laveris, and Senpai Giuseppe. Thank you. You're what keeps me coming back to Bushido every week and what keeps me motivated to continue teaching and training. It has been a genuine pleasure to get to work so closely with all of you over the years, and especially these past few months. The blood, sweat, and tears we have shared on the mat together, the successes and failures, is something that will forever be ingrained at the school and in my life. Being able to watch you all improve after every class and incorporate what you have learned is one of the best feelings in the world. I look forward to continuing to teach and train with you all for years to come. Senpai Concolino.
You need water too?
Oh, shit. Senpai Concolino. It has been 17 years since we last stood up here together as candidates for a black belt test. To have you back, not just at the school, but also in my life, has been a blessing. See, Alex, it really cries.
Okay, Shihan,
Without us pushing each other to come every Sunday. You know, I got through this when I practiced.
what was that thing?
Without us pushing each other to come every Sunday, I'm not sure that I could have done it without you. As with everyone that has ever been a part of the school, you have and always will be part of the Bushido family. To have you back as part of the school, this family, is an asset and treasure that is invaluable, vital, and unparalleled. We were 11 years old the last time we tested together, and although due to unforeseen circumstances, we were not able to test together today. Being able to train with you again has truly been an honor, and I am glad that you were able to be here today, because I could not imagine going through this test without you here. Usman.
Misha. Only mom can do that.
Senpai Baylog. Words can't describe the feeling that came over me when I first saw you back at the school last year. Since I was a child, I have always looked up to you. You were my martial arts idol, who I strive to be as a black belt and a martial artist. The amount of time you spent with me when I was younger, training for color belt tests and then my first degree black belt, I am forever grateful. Just in the word senpai, I always saw you as my Bushido big brother. I could never imagine my life in martial arts without you, and to have you back as part of this school is something I never thought would happen, but I am so happy and thankful that it did. You and Senpai Kakulino are both proof of how much this school means to its students. At some point or another, everyone has stepped away from training for a certain time, but one way or another, everyone always finds their way back. The school is home, and as long as the legacy of Bushido Karate lives on, everyone finds their way home. Welcome home, Senpai Beilog. Senpai. Deshi Santos and Deshi New, my brothers. Although you could not make it to this test, I know you both had booked flights to come in March. The fact that you both would do so much to support the school and the candidates doesn't say enough about your loyalty and your characters, not just as individuals, but as martial artists and as Deshis of Bushido Karate. When both of you were third degrees getting ready to test for your fourth degrees, at different points you both asked me if it was okay to test ahead of me. Not that you ever needed my permission, but it was out of respect. I just hope that I can one day show you the same respect you both showed me, and live up to the high standards you two have set as both fourth degree black belts and as Deshis. It has truly been a privilege to train with you all these years. Although you both live thousands of miles away, you're always as close as a phone call. I cannot thank you enough for your continued support and encouragement over the years. Who's Deshis? Sensei Wardell. Although we don't get to spend much time together these days, some of my fondest memories of my childhood are with you. All the events you set up, the movie nights, the Halloween parties, the demos, and much, much more. But honestly, I'll never forget your cardio kickboxing classes. I thought being able to train my mother would be easy and fun, but boy was I wrong. No matter what, you always pushed me, let me know when I was slacking off. You taught me that even when I thought I was tired, I still had more in me, and you made sure to get it out of me. You are, and forever will be, my Bushido mother.
Where's my water?
You are and forever will be my Bushido mother. Thank you for everything. Sensei. This brings me to my guardian angel, my big sister. Not just at Bushido, but in my life. I'm not gonna look at you right now, but Sensei Schwartz, you have always been there for me and the school, no questions asked. Coming to the school and immediately seeing you at the front always made it all worthwhile. You have known me for as long as I can remember, which makes it easy to come to you with any questions, problems, complaints, stories, or just to update each other in our lives. I can't imagine this school or my life without you. After nearly 25 years of training at Bushido, since the age of 4 to 29, you still continue to provide me with words of wisdom and encouragement. But my most favorite quality of yours, Sensei, is your honesty. Although sometimes brutal, it is something I have looked for and depended on more than you know. It is a very rare trait nowadays, and to put it as a fellow Boricua, you keep it real. You are the glue and the balance to this school, and an irreplaceable member of this family. Thank you for all you have done and continue to do for me, the school, and for its students. You are truly one in a million. Sensei.
All right, that's it. Let's go.
This part I never got through. Now for my favorite brother from the same mother. My fraternity brother, my big, my best friend, Sensei Alan Figueroa. Where do I begin? My martial arts career, or martial arts life I should say, started in your footsteps. Every dream of my future, whether it be in martial arts or in my career, has you by my side. Every game we played as kids or activity we did together, you were always there by my side, whether I wanted you to be there or not. For as long as I can remember, I've been watching on the mat, learning from both your successes and your mistakes. I remember being a brown belt in the advanced class with you as you were training towards your second degree black belt and just thinking, I better listen closely to Shihan if I don't want to get hit with that C9 stick as many times as Adam has. When we were younger, we would fight just like any other siblings, but when you went away to college, we both had matured and grew closer. We both went to Albany for undergrad and grad school, members of the same fraternity, same family tree, which also includes Deshi Nu, and graduated from the same master's program. I ended up staying in Albany for work for a few more years, and we unfortunately weren't able to spend as much time together. The funny thing is that after that, and even though you live in Long Island City now, martial arts is the thing that brings us back together and continues to keep us close. It is here where we realize how different and similar we are, but both in our difference and similarities, we bring a balance. Our different experiences and life lessons are something I don't think any other two people share together and can bring to this school. When I was younger and immature and naive, I used to resent being in your footsteps. But as I have grown older, I realize how lucky I really am to have a brother like you. The memories we have shared together at home and on the mat is something I will always be thankful for. It is who we are. You are someone I have always and will always look up to. You have always been there for me without hesitation and always someone I can go to, especially in the most dire of situations. I was saddened when I heard Stefan Giuseppe was not able to learn my form, but I really could not have imagined teaching or doing the form up here for my test with anybody else. Being able to train all these weekends with you, getting ready for this test, made me realize how much I missed you. How much the school misses you. How much the school misses you, and how much we both need you in our lives. Sensei Figueroa, you are the future of Bushido, and I, am nothing without you. At this point, saying thank you seems like barely enough. One day, I hope I could show you how thankful I am to have you in my life. But for now, I hope the least I could do is make you proud. Sensei.
Who's that she?
Shihan Makar. A lot has changed in the past 14 years or so since my last test, and especially in the 25 years since I began my training in both the world we live in today and at the Bushido School of Karate. But only one thing has remained constant. You. You have known me since birth, and you are just as much a father to me as my own father. Everything I have ever learned in martial arts, and all of the different impacts martial arts has had in my life that I mentioned earlier, are because of you. I say I would not be where I am today without martial arts, but without you, there is no martial arts in my life. I could not have imagined my life any other way, at any other martial arts school, or with any other instructor. You are forever a part of my life, and any success I have ever had, accomplishment, or goal achieved is because of you and all you have taught me over the past 25 years. You are far from just the master of the school. You are its father, and you have personally trained and look over all of its students as if they were your own children. You have watched us grow and mature from children to adults. The memories and time I have shared with you throughout my life are priceless and irreplaceable. Whether it was doing skits at demos, best weekends and training in the woods, beach nicks, riding in the car while you drove all over the road, or your personal favorite, farting on your lap while you beat my brother in chess. That was only last week. These experiences are timeless and a part of who I am, except for the farting part. Of all the reasons to continue my training, you and carrying on your legacy are the most important. The lessons you have taught me and continue to teach me to this day are things I hope to pass on to future students. You are the constant reminder that you can never know enough, and there is always so much more you can always learn and incorporate into one martial arts background. The school, the family you have created and maintained, does not exist without you or your presence. I know I can never thank you for all you have done for me over the past 29 years, but I know if I can even be half of the martial artist you are, that I can at least show my appreciation for what you have done and continue to do. Ushia. I also wanted to thank my girlfriend for coming here to support me today, and my family and friends who could not be here but wanted to be, and continue to offer their support. Martial arts is not something I go out of my way to talk about often or brag about, but those closest to me know that this has always been and will always be a large part of my life, and I truly appreciate you being able to share this momentous occasion in my life with me. It is having great friends and family like you, or great girlfriends like you, that make all the aspects of my life so much easier. I love you all. Thank you. Now, I had to save the best and most important for last. Behind every great Bushido student, or even great people, are often great parents, and my parents are nothing short of that. Mom and Dad, you have been there for Adam and I for every success and every failure, constantly lifting us up when we were down or encouraging us to strive even further. Without parents like you, I could not have made every class, every promotion test, or every event you could possibly get us to. I mentioned earlier how you made sure Adam and I stayed in karate when we were younger, but what you also told us was that when we turned 18, we could decide for ourselves if we wanted to continue our training or not. But at that point, the choice was pretty obvious. Martial arts and Bushido were already a part of our lives. We had finally seen what you had seen all along, how valuable this training would be to who we would become as individuals, and how all of its lessons would have some effect on on every aspect of our lives. I know keeping us training and involved was more difficult than Adam and I could ever admit, but from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Thank you for always getting us here on time and being here for us, even with everything else we had going on. Thank you for your endless support. No matter how busy you were, or sick, or tired, you were always here for us, putting our needs above your own every second of every day without hesitation. Adam and I would never have gotten this far in life without parents like you. You have made us who we are today, and I think it's safe to say that you guys have done a pretty good job. Thank you for everything. Last sentence. The overall purpose of these speeches is for candidates to convey what they think martial arts means to them, but not just martial arts, but also the Bushido School of Karate. And I know I just went on and on about how the different aspects of my life that Bushido has affected. But at the end of the day, the answer to what Bushido Karate means to me is pretty simple. Everything. Ushian, Usensei, Zustashi, Zusuba, Zus!
Yeah, let's learn on it. It's part of it. Sometimes emotion comes over. And that's what it's all about. Learning how to control. Great job there, kids. Which makes us come to the next part of the test. Sparring! And once you finish, stand up, please. Start with a high rank. When they get up,